If you're looking for Python Anywhere's famous $5 hosting plan and can't find it, it's gone. In January 2026, Python Anywhere merged its two paid tiers into a single developer plan at $10 a month. The hacker plan, $5, and the web developer plan at $12 no longer exist for new subscribers. If you were already a paying customer before the cutoff, that was January the 8th for European accounts, January 15th for US accounts, you were grandfathered in and you keep your existing rate as long as you don't cancel or change your subscription. So if you're on that $5 plan and it suits you, keep renewing. If you missed those dates and you're a new customer, $10 a month is now the entry point. There's a lot of people not happy about this. So why did it happen? Well, Python Anywhere point out that they hadn't raised prices since 2013. That's 12 years on the same pricing structure. Their reasoning is that hobbyists on the $5 hacker plan kept bumping into its CPU limits and had to upgrade to the $12, which is quite a hike. Meanwhile, the web developer users often didn't need the extra CPU and felt overcharged, so neither group were happy. Merging the tiers at a middle price point made more sense. I'd simply point out here that $10 isn't the midpoint between 5 and 12. Python Anywhere came out the better on that split. Having said that, the new $10 tier isn't just a price increase on the old hacker plan. It also includes the higher CPU allowance that used to be exclusive to the $12 tier. It gives 5 gig of storage and up to 20 scheduled tasks. So if you're on the web developer plan, you're arguably getting a discount. If you're on the hacker plan, you're paying more, but you're getting more. But the pricing change is only part of the story. Free accounts also changed in January 2026, and depending on your situation, this might actually impact you more than the paid tier restructure. The key thing to know up front is that if your free account was created before the cutoff dates, your features are unchanged. But if you're signing up now or recommending Python Anywhere to someone as a free hosting option, the offer is meaningfully different from what it used to be. For new free accounts, MySQL has moved to the paid tier. This is the change that I think matters most for data projects. MySQL was one of the things that made Python Anywhere's free tier genuinely useful. You could persist structured data without paying a penny. Now, new users on the free plan are limited to flat files or SQLite. That's workable for simple personal tools, but it rules out multi-user or anything that needs to be queried from outside the app. For a data engineer hosting a project, losing a hosted relational database is a real constraint. Scheduled tasks have also moved to the paid tier for new accounts. Free accounts created before the cutoff keep one daily task, but new signups get nothing. For a lot of hobby projects, this isn't actually a deal breaker. If your app responds to a user uploading a file or clicking a button, you never need a scheduled task anyway. That was the case for me. Where it does hurt is anything designed to run on its own. Pulling data from an API on a timer, overnight aggregations, monitoring scripts. Those patterns are now broken for new free accounts. There's a couple of smaller changes too. Unused web apps now expire after 1 month of inactivity rather than 3, so you just got to keep logging in and pressing the reload button. And free accounts no longer get direct support. Community forums only going forward. To be fair, I've found Python Anywhere very stable, so I've never had to get onto their support. One thing that's worth knowing that's separate from all of this is that the free tier's 512 meg disk limit hasn't changed. That was already tight for data-heavy projects. Libraries like Pandas and NumPy eat into that quickly, and if you're adding something like Stripe on top for payments, you can hit the ceiling fast. The paid developer tier's 5 gig gives you much more comfortable headroom. I found that out the hard way. I'd been running a Flask app on the free tier for 3 years. I recently integrated payment processing, and I hit the disk limit trying to install the Stripe package. When I went to upgrade, that's when I discovered the $5 plan wasn't there anymore. That sent me down the rabbit hole of working out exactly what had changed and when, which is what this video covers. So, the hacker plan is gone, the entry price has doubled to $10, and the free tier for new signups has lost MySQL and scheduled tasks. Python Anywhere is still one of the simpler ways to host a Python app, and they hadn't raised prices in 12 years, so there's a reasonable case for this. But it is a big change, and it's worth knowing before you build on the platform. If your plan is to start small and stay small, automate a simple script, then Python Anywhere is still my recommended option. But if you're starting small and thinking this thing will get bigger, then it's worth doing some future planning as to your costs and whether you may need to move in future.